All right, everyone, so we're back and I am going to be showing you how to draw an ice cream cone. So it's starting to get warm, summer's coming, and I just love a nice cold ice cream cone on a hot day. So I thought I would show you how to draw one. And we're not just gonna do one flavor, but we're gonna stack our ice cream cones up nice and high, and I'm gonna show you how to make them look realistic by melting a little bit from that hot summer day. So what you'll need for these, for this project is a piece of paper, a pencil and eraser as always, a Sharpie or black coloring supply, and any coloring supplies that you might want for your final colored image. So you can use, you're the artist, you can use any supplies that you have at home. Paints, if you want to experiment with them, like watercolors or tempera, you're more than welcome to. You can also use markers, colored pencils, crayons, oil pastels. Those are just a few. So get your supplies, come on back, and we're going to draw our yummy, delicious ice cream cones. All right. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. It is time to get started on our ice cream cones. Miss Hoskin used to sing that when she was little. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream, because it rhymes and it's cute. All right, so let's get started. You're gonna hold your paper vertically because we want room for our ice cream scoops to go nice and tall. And you're gonna grab your pencil. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure you draw lightly because we are going to have to erase some parts. We're going to start with at the bottom of our paper, and we're going to draw a triangle. And we're gonna come across very lightly. So I have my triangle at the bottom of my paper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add the texture to my ice cream cone. That's the way that the ice cream cone feels. And we're drawing a waffle cone. So we're gonna do a waffle texture. And that's just diagonal lines going in one direction. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna flip our hand and we're gonna go the opposite direction, opposite diagonal lines to create that waffle or checkered board pattern for our ice cream cone. All right, cone is already done. Now it's the ice cream part. So we're gonna start with circles, but I'm gonna show you how to make it look more realistic in a moment. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to draw a circle at the top of our paper above our cone. And about this size. We don't want it too big or too small. You want it about the same width as the ice cream cone. So about that size. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna draw another circle that's connected to it. But we don't want to go through it because remember, we're overlapping these. If you remember, overlapping in class is when one thing goes on top of the other, but you can't see what's underneath it. So we need to stop when we hit the other circle. And we're going to do this until we hit our ice cream cone. And when you hit your ice cream cone, you want to go to the corners of your ice cream cone like this. It's almost like making a snowman. All right. So I have 4 here. If you fit 5 or 6, if you made your ice cream cone a little bit smaller, you might have more ice cream. That's okay. You can see here. Here I did 4 in my final one. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can make as many as you can fit in the paper. Mine just happens to have 4 this time. And what you're going to do is, this looks okay, but it doesn't look as good as it can look. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start at the bottom, and we're gonna start at the corner where the ice cream meets our cone, and we're gonna start to do a drippy, wavy, wiggly line that looks like ice cream cone drip. So that's just coming down and curving up, and then until we meet it at the other edge. But if ice cream is melting, we wouldn't see the ice cream through it. So we need to erase anything inside of that squiggly line. So I'm coming in with my eraser. I'm erasing everything above or inside of that squiggly line. There we go. So now it really starts to look like that ice cream is dripping down on our cone. All right, so for this one, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna start where the two ice creams connect, and we're gonna start to do that wavy line, or that what looks like you can make drips, longer ones and shorter ones. They shouldn't be exactly the same. And we're going to erase everything above that line or inside that line. All right, we're gonna move to our next one. We're gonna go to the corner where our ice cream meets. I'm gonna start to do that wiggly line, some small ones, some big ones, some far apart. We're gonna connect it up to that circle, and we're gonna erase again everything above that squiggly line. All right, and on to our last one. We're gonna do it again. Where that ice cream meets. Maybe I want this one dripping down a little bit over. Maybe this one's not as melty. Because on a hot summer day, that ice cream would be melting a little bit, and you have to try and eat it before it drips and falls all over the place. All right, so now we have our ice cream cone, and I think it looks pretty good, pretty realistic. So now is the fun part. We get to decorate our ice cream cone with all the toppings that you want. If you just want the ice cream, you can leave it just the ice cream, but maybe you want a little bit of hot fudge on top. All you have to do is make that squiggly line like we did for the melting with the hot fudge. Maybe I want mine dripping off a little bit. All right, and I'd have to erase inside of that because it's not see-through. If you want to do a cherry, you can do a cherry on top. How you draw a cherry is it's actually a circle, and you'd have to erase anything inside if you have anything inside. And then it's a C shape towards the top of the cherry, and you're gonna draw a curved line out of it with a little circle or oval at the ends. And that's a cherry. Like I said, you can add sprinkles to this. You can add whipped cream, anything that you want to add on, hot fudge, it could be on each one of them. That's up to you. Or you can just leave it as ice cream. Now, I want you to start to think about what the flavors will be. So, what flavors are your ice cream gonna be? On here, I think I did chocolate brownie, mint chocolate chips, some strawberry, and some fudge ripple or something. So think about what ice cream flavors you want and what colors you're gonna need for those ice cream flavors. So if you did strawberry, you can do it all pink, but maybe you add some little pieces of strawberry inside of it, like I did here with the little dots. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and color in my ice cream cone and show you how I do this. First, I'm gonna Sharpie it because I don't want my colors to go all over the place. If you don't have a Sharpie, you can use a regular black marker, colored pencil, or crayon will work, and that just helps keep all the colors inside. So I'm gonna do that, come on back, and I'll show you how I colored mine in. Okay, so I Sharpied in my ice cream cone. I think I'm gonna use oil pastels to color in this time because I haven't used them in a while. You can use anything. If you look on my worksheet, I used marker on this one. And it came out really fun. So marker's great. Crayons work very similar to the oil pastel that I'm gonna show you. You can use colored pencil. Watercolor paints work great for this. So try out whatever colors or materials that you have at home. And I just want you to fill in the whole thing. Make sure your ice cream cone is filled in completely. I'm gonna use, I think, this tannish color for my ice cream cone. And I'll come back and show you what it looks like in the end. All right, so I colored in my ice cream cone with oil pastels. I did 4 different flavors. I think I have mint chocolate chip here, some fudge ripple. I have some strawberry ice cream. Here on the top I have vanilla with sprinkles, some fudge, a cherry, and I think it looks really good so far. I wanted to show you how to make it, when you're coloring, how to make something look a little realistic too. So if I colored in my strawberry one color, what I'll do is, so I have pink that I colored in with, and what I want to do is come in darker on the edge with that pink, or a darker version of that pink, like a light red, and I'll come in on the one side of it and I'll add shading to it. And you could also do this anywhere lines overlap. So if one ice cream is on top of the other, you can add a little bit of that darker color right underneath it, and it'll make it look more realistic. So if you want to, you can play with adding a shadow underneath where your ice cream overlaps. So here I used this very light color, and maybe I come back, I need a little bit darker, with a little bit of a darker color, and I add a little bit of line right underneath it, and it adds a shadow with some shading, and it makes it look like one ice cream is sitting on top of the other. So you could do this, maybe I take a dark green and I could come back wherever one ice cream, and you want to go not above, you want to go below that line. And that's how you add some shading to make it look more realistic. If you want a little bit of a challenge, you can try that out. All right, so I colored in this whole thing. I'm just gonna shake it off real quick because oil pastel gets messy. So if you don't like messes, this is not the right material for you. You might wanna use markers or colored pencil or crayons instead. Now I need to create a background. So this looks awesome, but it's a little boring just with the white. So we need to add a background. You can do stripes. You can do polka dots. You can color the whole background in one color. I think I'm gonna do some sprinkles. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take colors and I'm just gonna do dashed lines all over. You do not have to do sprinkles. That's just what I'm doing. If you wanna do like a stripe in a bunch of different rainbow colors or polka dots. So I'm going all over with one color. Then I'm gonna take a different color and I'm gonna come in and do the same thing. And I'm gonna do this with all different colors. All right, let me finish that. I'll come back and we'll look at the final product. All right, so here's my finished product. I think it looks delicious. I wish I could eat this, but it's not real. So until then, I'm just gonna look at it, and I think yours are gonna come out awesome. I can't wait to see what your flavors are, what toppings you want on your ice cream cone, and what fun background you create. So have fun with this. Experiment with different materials and colors, and I can't wait to see what you design.